Have you ever looked in the mirror and thought, I wish I could change this or fix that? Maybe it's a wrinkle that wasn't there before, a scar that tells a painful story, or a trait you've always tried to hide. But let me tell you something that might just change how you see yourself. You are already complete, exactly as you are, perfectly imperfect. And that, my friend, is not your flaw, it's your superpower. Today, let's embark on a journey, not to perfection, but to embracing the beauty in our imperfections. Because when you do, life starts to unfold in the most extraordinary ways. Have you ever paused for a moment and wondered why we're always so desperate to appear flawless? It's like we are constantly editing ourselves, our personalities, our appearances, even our emotions, all in the hope that maybe, just maybe, we might fit into some mold that society has created for us. But what if I told you that this mold doesn't even exist? That perfection is an illusion, a mirage that keeps moving further the closer you get to it. And the cruel part? We keep chasing it anyway. We exhaust ourselves trying to tick all the boxes, the perfect body, the perfect career, the perfect partner, the perfect life. But deep inside, there's a gnawing emptiness that whispers, you're still not enough. This is the tragedy of chasing perfection. It is a game designed for you to lose because every time you reach one milestone, another appears on the horizon. And so, we live in this endless loop of not feeling good enough, constantly measuring our worth against impossible standards. But who decided these standards anyway? Who told you that your value is tied to how smooth your skin is, or how successful your career looks on paper, or how put together your family is? Somewhere along the way, we were handed a script for life, a script that said, you must be flawless to be loved. You must be perfect to be worthy. And yet, the most beautiful souls I've ever met were not perfect. They were messy, they were raw, they were real. They had cracks in their armor, and through those cracks, their light shined even brighter. Perfection is sterile. It is cold, distant, unattainable. But imperfection? Imperfection is where life breathes. It's where stories are born. It's where connections are made. People don't fall in love with your perfections. They fall in love with your quirks, your awkward laugh, your silly fears, your dreams that make no sense to anyone but you. Imagine if we stopped trying to edit ourselves for the world. Imagine the freedom of just being, as you are, unapologetically. Because the truth is, when you strip away the layers of pretense, what remains is not something to be ashamed of. What remains is you, authentic, beautiful, imperfectly perfect you. And there is immense power in standing tall in your truth and saying, this is me with all my flaws and I am still worthy of love, respect, and joy. We carry our imperfections like burdens, as if they are weights to hide or discard. But I believe they are treasures. Scars, whether on your body or in your soul, are not symbols of defeat. They are evidence of survival. They are the proof that you have lived, you have loved, you have lost, and yet here you are standing, breathing, living. Every scar has a story, and every story holds wisdom. We are so quick to admire the polished versions of people, the filtered snapshots of perfect lives. But rarely do we see what's beneath. The woman who smiles brightly might be hiding years of silent struggles. The man who seems invincible might carry the weight of invisible battles. Yet we all pretend. We mask our pain, we cover our scars because somewhere deep down, we believe that showing them would make us weak, less lovable, less deserving. But oh, how wrong we are. It is in showing our scars that we find connection. It is in saying, this happened to me and I'm still here, that we find strength. We all have our versions of heartbreak, betrayal, failure, and each one has carved something unique into us. So why hide that? Why pretend to be untouched, unbroken? There is nothing more inspiring, more profoundly beautiful, than a soul who wears their scars not with shame, but with pride. Because it tells the world, I have been through storms, and I have learned to dance in the rain. There is a voice inside so many of us, a cruel, unforgiving voice that speaks louder than any praise we could ever receive from the world. It's the voice that whispers in the quiet of the night, you're not good enough. You should have done better. You're a failure. And somehow we let that voice dictate the narrative of our lives. We believe that we must punish ourselves for our mistakes, that we must constantly criticize every flaw, every wrong decision, every imperfection. But let me ask you, when did we forget to be kind to ourselves? When did we decide that self-compassion was a weakness rather than the greatest form of strength? We are taught how to love others, how to be forgiving, how to show empathy. Yet, no one teaches us how to turn that love inward. We extend compassion to friends, to family, to strangers even, but when it comes to ourselves, we become ruthless. We become our own harshest critics. But the truth is, you cannot pour from an empty cup. You cannot heal, grow, or evolve if the soil within you is poisoned by self-hatred. There is a profound power in looking at yourself, really looking, and saying, I am flawed, and that is okay. I am growing, and that is enough. I am human, and that is beautiful. Psychology teaches us that self-compassion is not about making excuses or avoiding responsibility. It's about acknowledging your pain without judgment. It's about treating yourself with the same tenderness you would offer a child learning to walk. When a child falls, we don't scold them. We encourage them to try again. So why then, when we fall in life, do we respond with anger and disgust? Why not say to ourselves, it's okay. You're learning. You'll get back up. Imagine the gentleness, the peace that would enter your life if you spoke to yourself like someone you deeply care about. And this kindness you extend to yourself doesn't just stay within you. It reflects in your relationships too. Because let's be honest, the way you love yourself sets the tone for how others will love you. If you are constantly criticizing yourself, you inadvertently invite others to do the same. But when you hold yourself with dignity, with self-respect, you create boundaries that protect your peace. You teach others how to treat you, not by demanding it, but by showing them how you treat yourself. There is also this beautiful paradox in relationships. The more perfect we try to appear, the more distant we become from those around us. We think that by showing only the best parts of ourselves, we will be more loved, more accepted. But the truth is, love thrives in vulnerability. It blossoms in the spaces where we let our guard down, where we allow someone to see the messy, unfiltered parts of us. Because that is where authenticity lives. Have you ever shared a personal struggle with someone and noticed how the entire energy of the conversation shifts? Suddenly, walls crumble, masks fall off, and there is this profound connection that words alone cannot describe. That is the magic of being human together, recognizing that none of us have it all figured out. We are all just trying, failing, learning, and trying again. And that is what binds us. In a world obsessed with curated perfection, showing your imperfections is a radical act of courage. It's saying, this is me. Take it or leave it. But I refuse to hide. And when you show up like that in relationships, you invite a different kind of love, a deeper, more enduring love. One that says, I see all of you, not just the good parts, and I choose to stay. That is the kind of connection that heals. That is the kind of connection that lasts. We need to remember that vulnerability is not a sign of weakness. It is the birthplace of connection, empathy, and trust. The relationships that nourish us the most are not built on facades of perfection, but on the raw, honest admission that we are all perfectly imperfect, and that in itself is enough. We often imagine growth as this graceful, upward journey, like climbing a mountain where every step takes us higher, closer to some glorious peak. But real growth doesn't feel that way, does it? It doesn't look neat, and it certainly doesn't feel predictable. It's messy. It's uncomfortable. It's chaotic. Sometimes it even feels like you're not moving forward at all, but spiraling downward, lost in confusion, pain, and exhaustion. And that's where most of us start to question ourselves. Why is this happening to me? Why can't I get it right? Why do I keep falling back? But the truth is, that is what growth looks like. If you've ever watched a caterpillar transform into a butterfly, you'll know that before it becomes that delicate, radiant creature, it must first dissolve entirely inside the cocoon. It turns into mush, unrecognizable, vulnerable, broken down to nothing. And only then does it emerge with wings. That is nature's way of reminding us that transformation isn't beautiful in its process. It's painful, confusing, messy. But it is necessary. And you, my dear, are no different. Every phase where you feel like you're falling apart, it's just your cocoon phase. You are becoming. Yet, we resist this messiness because we have been taught that struggle means failure, that setbacks mean you're not good enough. But that's a lie we must unlearn. Struggle is not the opposite of growth. It is a part of it. Every stumble, every heartbreak, every disappointment is carving something deeper within you. Maybe it's empathy. Maybe it's resilience. Maybe it's wisdom. But it is always something. The next time you find yourself stuck, doubting whether you're making any progress, remember this. Seeds grow in the darkness of the soil before they ever reach the light. And this brings me to something equally important: acceptance. You see, we live in a constant state of resistance. We fight our reality. We argue with it. We reject our flaws, our situations, our pain. We say, "This shouldn't have happened to me. I should be better. My life should look different by now." But every time you resist what is, you give it more power over you. What you resist persists. It lingers, grows heavier, becomes more painful. But the very moment, you say, "This is my reality and I will face it, not fight it," something shifts inside you. Acceptance isn't about giving up. It's not about saying, "I'll stay stuck here forever." It's about acknowledging your starting point with honesty and grace. It's saying, "This is where I am, but not where I will remain." That is the first breath of freedom. When you accept your imperfections, your failures, your past, you stop carrying them like heavy baggage. Instead, you start using them as stepping stones. Acceptance allows you to breathe. It softens the harsh edges of your inner dialogue. It teaches you to sit with your pain without being consumed by it. It's a gentle reminder that your worth is not diminished by the parts of your life that didn't go as planned. We are all in a constant state of becoming. There is no final destination where everything makes perfect sense, where we are flawless and complete. And that's a relief because it means we get to keep growing, keep learning, keep evolving. It means that today's mess doesn't define tomorrow's possibilities. So when you feel broken, when you feel lost in the chaos of growth, don't resist it. Sit with it. Accept it. Because in that acceptance, you'll find the strength to rise. And when you rise, you won't be the same. You'll be wiser, stronger, softer, and beautifully, perfectly imperfect, just as you were always meant to be. We live in a world that keeps whispering in our ears what beauty should look like, what success must feel like, how we are supposed to be, behave, exist. There is an entire industry built around making you feel inadequate, making you believe that you must be younger, thinner, more accomplished, less emotional, less loud, less you. And we, without even realizing it, start absorbing these messages until we are carrying someone else's definition of who we should be. But tell me, how can you ever truly be happy when you are trying to fit into a definition that was never meant for you? Beauty is not in the symmetry of your face or the absence of scars or the number on a scale. Beauty is not in the smoothness of your skin or the color of your hair. Beauty is not even in perfection. Beauty, I believe, is the quiet confidence of a person who knows who they are, flawed, yes, but real. Beauty is in the resilience that lives in your eyes after everything you've survived. It's in the laugh lines that tell the story of a life lived with joy. It's in the scars that mark your battles and your strength. And success, success has nothing to do with how shiny your trophies are or how many people applaud you. Success is how you feel when you wake up in the morning. It's the peace you carry in your heart, knowing that you are living your truth. It's not about climbing the highest mountain, but about having the courage to even begin the climb, despite your fears. Success is living in alignment with your values, even when the world tries to pull you in every direction. You see, when you redefine beauty and success for yourself, you start to reclaim your power. You start to look in the mirror and see not what the world has told you to fix, but the stories that have shaped you. The wrinkles, the stretch marks, the gray hairs. These are not imperfections. They are life's artwork on your body. They are testimonies of time, experience, and growth. Why should we erase them? Why should we hide the very proof that we've lived, we've loved, we've lost, and yet we are still here. And when you begin to see yourself through this lens, something miraculous happens. You start to inspire others to do the same. By living unapologetically, by embracing your unique journey, you give silent permission to others to stop hiding, to stop apologizing for who they are. That, to me, is one of the greatest gifts you can offer the world. Because your imperfections, your authenticity, your rawness, that is your gift. That is your contribution. We don't need more people pretending to be perfect. We need more people showing up as they are, saying, "This is me, no filters, no pretense, just me." Because that's where real connection happens. That's where we heal, in the presence of truth. When you hide parts of yourself because you think they're not good enough, you're not just robbing yourself of freedom. You're also robbing the world of the uniqueness only you can bring. There is a kind of beauty in imperfection that no flawless exterior can ever replicate. Think about the artists, the storytellers, the dreamers, the ones who touch our souls. Are they perfect? No. They are messy, emotional, flawed. And yet we feel them, we connect with them, because they dare to show up as they are. You are not meant to be perfect. You are meant to be whole. And wholeness comes from embracing every shattered piece of yourself, every crack, every wound, every triumph. That is where your strength lives. That is where your power lies. When you stand in your truth and let your imperfections speak, you light the way for others to do the same. Because in the end, we don't remember people for their perfection. We remember them for their authenticity, their courage to be real, their willingness to be seen. And that is a legacy worth leaving behind. Let this be your reminder today. You are not broken. You are becoming. Every scar, every flaw, every imperfection, it's all part of your masterpiece in progress. If this message stirred something in your heart, I want to hear about it. Tell me in the comments, what imperfection are you learning to embrace today? Let's start a conversation, because your voice matters here. If this resonated, give it a like, share it with someone who needs this reminder, and don't forget to subscribe for more empowering conversations like this one. And hey, I'd love to know, what topics would you like us to explore next? Drop your suggestions below, and let's continue this journey together. Remember, you are perfectly imperfect, and that is your greatest strength. Glowing star.